Hey, welcome to Perry Review. My name is Perry. This is my wife, Cynthia. So today we'll be reacting to season 5, episode 5 of Bojack Horseman. On the last episode, it was a Princess Carolyn episode. We found out more about her past, where she grew up, and kind of where she lived in a very small house with her mom, who was a caretaker for a wealthy family, and a bunch of kids, her siblings running around everywhere. And I remember, she obviously has a relationship with the son. It doesn't end well, and she gets pregnant and stuff like that. But what happens at the end is that she tries to be her own person, and she goes and tries to start her life.
She had a miscarriage.
Yeah,
and her mom said it was her fault.
Right. I mean, mom, when she first got pregnant, she was like, "Oh yeah, you're finally you're set for life." Yeah. But the thing is that when she saw what she had to, all the expectations that the parents wanted from her, it was just too much. Like, it wasn't her. It was she just pretending to be somebody else for their sake. So in a sense, maybe, I don't know, she through that tragedy, she became her own person, which is good, because in a sense, at least she's her own self and she's happy with who she is as a person. Yeah. So in that sense, there's some, goodness in that. But today's episode, let's find out, because there's still the issue, the issue with Bojack. Remember the audio tape recording that Diane found out? It still hasn't been resolved yet. It's still up in the air this season, and we're gonna be halfway through now. So I'm curious to see when it's gonna come up. I'm just keep asking about it. I wonder if it happened. I thought it would happen last episode, but it didn't.
So this is not your penultimate.
No, it's
episode.
Not. We'll see. Maybe it is in the penultimate episode. Right? We'll see. But I don't know. It'll take too long to get there. But enough talk. Let's get to the episode. Here we go. That's Bojack.
Yes, I see you. Get in. Now, it's one thing for a woman to weep, but when they do it at such a volume you can hear it through the door, that's when you know they're doing it just for the attention. Anyway, I was able to cobble together a sandwich for myself, so I'm the real hero of the story. Most days, I can't concentrate because my idiot child is blasting the television, and it suddenly dawned on me. Hot cock on a rock, she never even picked up the little noise and snot factory.
Oh my god.
If you become a queer later in life, this isn't my fault. Don't you sing those songs in your nightclub act called My Daddy Was My Mommy while gazing longingly at a tangled string of pearls. Pearls are for ladies, Bojack. The whole day's shot, all because of you and that brittle wisp of a woman you made the mistake of making your mother.
What?
No, it's not her fault. She's doing the best she can, after all. You can't rely on other people, Bojack. It's good for you to know that. And she's a good mother for teaching you that.
What a bleak existence.
Thank you!
Oh my god. After hearing all that, he's just expecting a thank you? Seriously? He didn't say anything positive the entire car ride.
So selfish. Where are her parents?
Whose parents?
Like Bojack's mom's parents.
Well, remember,
I know she left.
Well, not that she left. The mom had the a lobotomy, and then she was out for. She was pretty much a shell, right? And the dad.
Bojack's mom.
Yeah, Bojack's. Mom's mom. That's what I meant.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why she was a shell of a person, and the dad was a misogynistic asshole who forced her to get arranged marriage and stuff like that. So it's all just a terrible lineage of depression. Jeez.
That just made me sad, and it's only like 2 minutes into the video. Why do you guys make me watch this show?
Because it's a great show, and you know it.
But when this girl at the Jack in the Box asked me if I was having an awesome day, I thought, well, today I'm actually allowed to feel shitty. Today I have a good reason. So I said to her, well, my mom died. And she immediately burst into tears. And the girl apologizes again, and she offers me a free churro with my meal. And as I'm leaving, I think, I just got a free churro because my mom died. No one ever tells you when your mom dies, you get a free churro. Really makes you think, though, huh? Life, right? Goes by, stuff happens, then you die. Okay, well,
Does
that's
he really
my
know
time
anything about her, though?
No, I'm just kidding around. There's no waitress. But seriously, that's all I have to say about my mother. Can I just say how amazing it is to be in a room with my mother and I can just talk and talk without her telling me to shut up and make her a drink? Hey, Mom, not once do you think I should shut up. No? You sure? She wanted an open casket, but she's dead now, so who cares what she wanted?
Oh,
no, that's not bad. I'm sorry. I think that if she could have seen what she looked like then, she'd agree it's better this way. When I was a teenager, I performed a comedy routine for my high school talent show. There was this cool jacket that I wanted to wear because I thought it would make me look like Albert Brooks. I went to the store, and it was gone. They just sold it to someone else. So I went home, and I told my mother, and she said, let that be a lesson. That's the good that comes from wanting things. My mother had a surprise for me. She had bought me the jacket.
Oh.
And even though she didn't know how to say it, I knew this meant that she loved me. Now that's a good story about my mother. It's not true, but it's a good story.
God.
Right? I stole it from an episode of Maude I saw when I was a kid when she talks about her father.
I thought the one nice gesture she did.
That's the kind of story I want to tell about my parents when they die. I kept waiting for that, the proof that even though my mother was a hard woman, deep down, she loved me. Even now, I find myself waiting. Hey, Mom, knock once if you love me and care about me and want me to know that I made your life a little bit brighter.
You know, it'd be interesting if the entire episode is him just doing this monologue. That'd be interesting.
Where she looked in my direction and said, I see you. It's the last thing she said to me. I see you. Not a statement of judgment or disappointment, just acceptance and the simple recognition of another person in a room. It's an odd realization that that's the thing that you've been missing, the only thing that you wanted all along, to be seen. And it doesn't feel like a relief to finally be seen. It feels mean. Like, oh, turns out that you knew what I wanted and you waited until the very last moment to give it to me. Only my mother would be lousy enough to swipe me with a moment of connection on her way out. But maybe I'm giving her too much credit. She was pretty out of it at the end there, so maybe it's dumb to try to attribute it to anything.
Maybe from her perspective, because she has Alzheimer's, she finally saw him as, Bojack and not that other person. That woman, I forgot her name.
Henrietta,
yeah.
Maybe she saw my dad. My dad died about 10 years ago of injuries he sustained during a duel. When your father dies, you ask yourself a lot of questions. Questions like, wait, did you say he died in a duel? And who dies in a duel?
Right? It's like a thing where two people, they hold a gun side by back to back, and then they walk, and they turn, and the first one to fire, the other person dies, kind of thing.
He wrote the paper this letter saying anyone who didn't like his book, he would challenge to a duel. Anyone in the world. He'd even pay for airfare to San Francisco and a night in a hotel. Dad turned to ask the guy if he'd actually read the book and what he thought, but not looking where he was going, tripped over an exposed root and bashed his head on a rock.
That's how
I wish I'd known to go to Jack in the Box then. At his funeral, she said, my husband is dead and everything is worse now.
Huh.
My husband is dead and everything is worse now. Maybe Mom knew she'd have to sell all her fancy jewelry and move into a home. Maybe that's what she meant by everything is worse now. Is that what you meant, Mom?
Maybe.
My mother, she knew what it's like to feel your entire life like you're drowning, with the exception of these moments, in which you suddenly remember you can swim.
I think he's looking back at the dance, and he sees... And he sees that how happy she was in that moment, right?
All three of us were drowning, and we didn't know how to save each other, but there was an understanding that we were all drowning together. And I would like to think that that's what she meant when we were in the hospital, and she said, I see you. I used to be on this TV show called Horsing Around. Seriously, though, hold your applause. Well held. It was written by my... But I keep going back to that moment in the ICU when she looked at me and... I see you. I see you. Jesus Christ. We were in the intensive care unit. She was just reading a sign.
Oh my God.
My mom died and all I got was this free churro. When that stranger behind the counter gave me that free churro, that small act of kindness showed more compassion than my mother gave me her entire goddamn life. I'm your son. All I had was you. I had this friend right around when I first
I'm gonna cry.
Dad died. It's like that show Becker, with Ted Danson. I watched the entire run of that show, hoping that it would get better, and it never did. I knew it could be so much better, and now it never would be. And that's what losing a parent is like. It's like Becker. My mother is dead, and everything is worse now.
Yeah.
Because now I know I will never have a mother who looks at me from across the room and says, Bojack Horseman, I see you. It's good to know that there is nobody looking out for me. That there never was, and there never will be. Now, it's good to know that I am the only one that I can depend on.
Poor guy.
And I know that now.
He still has hollyhock.
No point beating a dead horse.
Oh no, is he at the wrong...
Is this funeral parlor B?
Oh my god. Oh god. Oh my god.
You okay?
Are you looking? Stop looking at me.
I turn around and all I see is tears streaming down your face. And I was like, what a way to end the episode, too.
Gosh, damn, I hate you people.
She only says that because she's upset right now. Because, you know.
No one told me it was going to be sad.
You know, it has
I
this
don't
funny.
like watching, like, this is why
Remember Banana Fish where you're bawling your eyes
I
out?
bawled my eyes on every episode.
That
until,
almost, yeah.
like.
Just recently. But
Yeah.
this episode is it's interesting because I thought they'd be doing when he does flashbacks, like talking about, you know, previous events, that it would actually go into flashbacks and go into that, but it doesn't go there. The entire episode was a 20-minute monologue about his mother, and he came to the realization that his mother, even into the very end, she never really acknowledged him or did anything kind of nice to him. And he realized that, like, the free churro, because I was confused about the title, free churro, what is it for?
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's like, you know, a stranger who has no connection to him gave him something, like a free churro as a, as a consolation for his grief. But his own mother, after, you know, 50 years of living, she never really did anything happy to him, like nice.
She just got Alzheimer's or dementia.
I think, well, remember...
Like when he was older, right? Like when,
yeah, like last season, basically. Like, that's when he went to see her and he realized, oh, shoot, she has Alzheimer's, right?
Okay,
But,
so
yeah.
I was going to say, like, it's like people like his mom
Mm-hmm.
that have kids.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to treat them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Some
like,
people weren't meant to be parents.
yeah,
and-
but it's so sad that those are the people that have kids. And those are the people that pop kids, like, left, right, and center.
It's just...
If you, like, this is what I mean. This is a perfect example. If you cannot be a mom, if you're not ready to be a mom, to take care of your kid, regardless of how shitty your life or how bad, like, if your life is shitty already, you having a kid is not going to make it better. I'm talking about these people that...
who are miserable, people who
Yeah.
don't know how to take care of anybody else.
Exactly. That's what I'm relating to.
Like, I mean, obviously, like, for example, like, even if your life is shitty, but you're a loving, caring person...
It's different.
Yeah, you'll take care of that child,
But
like, it's, you know, everything to
Exactly. I'm talking about, like, her in this show.
Because, you know, Bojack,
mom,
yeah.
she fell in love with this guy, ran away. She had no proper place to live. They were just all about having sex and having a kid.
All it was...
And it was an accident, too,
It was an accident. It was a one night of rebellion against her dad.
Exactly.
And all that was. It was a
Like,
mistake.
Okay, if it was a mistake and you feel like it's a mistake, you don't need the baby.
But she kept
I'm
the
just
baby.
saying.
But you don't remember...
If you decide to keep the baby, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, honestly, man up
Mm-hmm.
and take care of the kid. If your husband sucks, leave him. If your boyfriend sucks, leave them. You can raise a kid
It's
on
easier
your
to...
own.
I mean, obviously
No.
it's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done. Then you should have never had sex and had a baby.
We can't really be like
I'm
that.
just saying
I
that
know,
because
obviously,
It's just really, it's so sad to see him. Like,
Look
at it. Like, he's tried so hard in his life. He's had such a miserable childhood.
existence.
And it's so sad to hear him say that he only learned good things watching TV shows.
Not from his actual real
Not
life.
from his actual parents. Like, why be parents then? Why do you want to have a kid?
But you know, that's not how the world works. That's
I
how
know, but
we want it to be.
me
But
venting.
it's just
It's just me venting. I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm not pointing my finger at anybody.
It's just this
I'm
show,
just saying,
and
in
you're
this
going
show, there are a lot of people like this out there in the world.
Yeah.
Where they don't know what they're doing. They just want to have sex, and you know, it's like a one-night stand, and then they have this kid.
Mm-hmm.
They get pregnant, and then they either give the kid to adoption, or they, like, you know, the kid is just in all this drugs and everything while the parents
Yeah.
are like high. You know what I mean?
You know, like it's like I always have this feeling that some people, like, when you are born,
You
it's a
don't choose.
gamble.
Yeah.
Either you get the right poker hand and you are set for life, or you just had the bad cards and you just grew up either into as a crack baby or into poverty
But you know
or
what's really sad?
North Korea, for God's sakes, something horrible, and you had no choice in the matter. You're just born into this. But what can you do, right? It's just the way the world works. Like, obviously, you hope that, let's say, even if you're born in the worst hell on earth, hopefully you have parents who will love you, take care of you and love you and stuff. So you can have that kind of,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
thing.
You brought up the North Korea thing. Like, even in our country, like, we've been through the most desperate situations in our lives.
We're from Sri Lanka, we had a war for several decades and stuff. And we came from that.
I was born during the war. Like, it's my family, like, my parents didn't have money to take care of us. Like, it was impossible. They could have literally given me for adoption, but you know what? That's the thing. Like, if no matter how much you struggle, when it's your kid, you got to take care of your kid. It doesn't matter about anyone else. And and it's so sad. Like, I don't know anything about his mom, like, whatever happened, but I feel like she kind of failed as a mom raising him. And dad too. Yeah, dad to dad. Oh my God. If I ever in my life found, like, if I got married and had a kid and my husband was like that, I'm just telling you, I'm picking up that baby and we're leaving. I'm not going to say anything.
Like, from based on what we've seen from Bojack's mom's life, this last season's 2 episodes, the one where her childhood, where her mom has the mental breakdown and gets a lobotomy, and the last episode, the penultimate episode, where we go through her flashbacks of her life while she's in her Alzheimer's state, and we see literally how she went from a young girl and became a grown woman, and she married Bojack's dad, and where she ended up in life, right? She's never, like, just like Bojack, she's never had at least before her mom had the lobotomy, a happy moment in her life.
See, that's when I would say that, okay, if you never had a happy life, you would make sure that your kid has a happy life.
But if she's never been given any kind of compassion, or she's seen all the happiness get destroyed in front of her doll, her mother, her brother dies, and that horrible piece of shit for her father. Like, if you have no one showing you happiness, how would you know that way to show that happiness to other people? As even your own kid, right? Now, obviously, it's in our evolutionary biology to take care of your young, but
how, if you're never taught, how are you gonna?
Exactly, it's nature versus nurture, isn't it? Like, if you're not shown compassion.
I kind of feel bad for her too, like, in a way. But then I also feel like she's a mom, like, she should have, like, known to take care of her kid. But whatever.
I mean, I still think she's a terrible mother, but at least I understand why she's like this and how she came to be like that. Now, her dad is a different story. Like, Bojack's dad, he was just kind of
Bojack's grandfather. He's so.
Well, he's a misogynistic piece of shit.
Like, he just left. Well, do you remember that day when she was having, like, an episode or something, and he just kind of like, oh, I have to leave, and then he just left?
Well, yeah, like, he doesn't want to get involved with that. For him, it's all about making money and doing, men's stuff, because that's back how it was in the 30s, right? Like, women have their own duties, men have their own duties and stuff, and leave it at that. But what I would say is that for Bojack's dad, I mean, sure, he was a grifter. He kind of just came in. He knocked up a girl, and now he's stuck with her because she had his kid. But why is he miserable? Is it because he's married to her and stuck with her? Was he shown compassion and happiness growing up? Why was he such a douchebag to his children, like, to his son, right? Like, why did he have to treat, like, sure, okay, we understand why Bojack's mom was miserable in a black hole of unhappiness, but what about Bojack's dad? Like, I actually would like to see a flashback of him to understand.
Was gonna say, like
we got Beatrice's background. We know exactly why she's like this. But I hope maybe in this show we'll see a little bit of Bojack's dad's background. How did he get to be like this? Like, is it because of his marriage to Beatrice? Is it just like we're saying right now, right? Beatrice had an entire life of misery, and she's just in a black hole of depression and sadness and, like, anger, right? And she married Butterscotch. He got sucked in and he's miserable. she gave birth to Bojan. He got sucked in, and now he's miserable entire life, right?
It's
Is
like
that how it
It's
is?
like a chain.
It's like a chain reaction where everything she's that's close by.
My God.
And the only reason why Hollyhock is such a cheery person, or
because her mom is.
she was raised by
Happy.
loving bunch of what is it, 9 dads? I lost count, but they're all loving, who loved her to death, and they took care of her. So she never really experienced rejection and like not being loved by her parent and stuff like that. So she escaped that. But that's why when she lives with Bojack, she couldn't believe how he is. But we know how he is because we've seen how his life came to be. But holy crap,
Well, sorry guys. If I offended anybody, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we didn't mean to. If we did, if you guys found anything, but this episode, which is an amazing episode, it shows a lot that an episode of Bojack just talking in a podium about his dead mother would bring up such a deep conversation about all these different types of topics that we went into. But this is a really good episode, and it's incredible that it's not the second last episode where things really crazy stuff happens, but the show has progressed so later on into its series that it's getting more and more into these deeper topics that they don't show the serious stuff near the end. Like every once in a while we have to deal with these serious stuff, and
I cannot.
I hope next episode is a bit more lighter, but we'll see. We're gonna stop here. I hope you guys liked our reaction to this episode. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel. We'll be posting more episodes of Bojack Horseman. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.